Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite rifles. When the U.S. government came out with the SASS program, or the semi-automatic sniper system, several companies submitted semi-automatic sniper systems. Basically what these were semi-automatic 7.62 caliber rifles to replace the M40, M40A1 bolt-action sniper rifles. These companies included Armalite, it included JP Enterprises, Knights Armament, just to name a few. In the end, the winner was the Knights Armament M110 SR25. However, more recently, the M110C solicitation came out to replace that one, which Knights Armament lost out on that to H&K. But one of the models that was put into there was actually made by Armalite, and it was called their SASS rifle, and is what we see right here. This is an extremely accurate rifle, extremely well made. I made a couple modifications to it myself, not big ones, but for the most part the rifle is as is. Now this is the original AR-10 that has the M14 type magazine. This was purchased before the AR-10A came out, which of course now you can purchase this rifle with the AR-10A configuration. It takes the SR25 magazines. Quite honestly, I probably still would have gone with this one. I do like it because I have the actual Armalite made magazines, not the converted M14 magazines. The actual Armalite magazines are a massive improvement over the converted ones. The purpose of a SASS rifle over a bolt-action rifle is to give the sniper the ability to have multiple rapid engagement of targets. By having a magazine of 20 rounds and being able to engage targets quickly, it's a major benefit to the sniper himself. Also, by having the rapid fire, if he was to be engaged by multiple targets quickly, he would have the ability to engage them. So there really isn't any negative aspects to a SASS unless you have a weapon system that's not reliable, which is not the case with this rifle. This is an extremely reliable rifle that you can definitely bet your life on. We're going to go over this. Again, there's a couple changes I made to it. One of them was the actual bolt carrier group itself, and the other one was the action spring. JP Enterprises produces a match grade bolt carrier group, which there's nothing wrong with the one that came with this rifle. It works just fine. This one here is just a little bit more match grade. It's a little bit more tight. It's a little more tight. It's more of a precision type. And the action spring, I replaced it with JP Enterprises silent captured spring. Basically, what that does is it removes the bung, you hear in the stock. Just because that could be a little bit distracting. I also wanted to try out the parts to see how much of a difference they would make. And after I used them, I decided to leave them in the rifle rather than put the original parts back in. That's really the only modifications that I made, other than adding the silencer co flash suppressor to it so I can use my can on it. Other than that, the rifle is its basic configuration. It does not come with a scope. This was the basic military scope. The one that was purchased by SOCOM. Same thing with the rings, arms throw lever rings. The backup sights on here are Knights Armament. These can be found with any number of backup sights. I put the Knights Armament on because of just how low profile they were. You engage, you have a dial right there for elevation, and then in the back here you have a dial here for windage. The stock itself is the Magpul PRS stock, which in my opinion is the finest stock in the industry for any AR type rifle. It is heavy, but again, this is not a lightweight carbine. It is a sniper rifle. You can adjust the butt pad as well as the cheek weld on it with the dial. It's a standard sling on it. We're gonna go over this thing from butt to muzzle. Looking on the outside here, we already talked about the stock a little bit. Standard pistol grip. I also added the ambidextrous safety on here as well. Standard location for the magazine release. Again, this is the Armalite manufactured improved magazine. Scope, arms rings. This rifle does have a forward assist on it. Again, this is a pet peeve you'll hear me talking about a lot of my videos that does not belong there. In fact, this bolt carrier here does not have forward assist notches on there, so this thing can't cause me any trouble. Looking on the left side, everything is standard, what you would expect on any AR type rifle, your bolt catch. This is again a modified bolt catch that's a lot stronger than the standard ones. Other than that, it's typical AR. The charging handle we're going to talk about as well. This is what's called the PRI gas buster charging handle. What this does is it actually directs gas when the rifles run suppressed through the channel here and then out to the side. Out here, there's actually a channel underneath there. We're going to take this apart and we'll see it. This is really a benefit for any rifle that's using a sound suppressor. Looking at the handguard here, we have a full Armalite manufactured free-floating handguard, quad mill standard 1913 rails. These are just regular rail protectors on there. We have a Harris bipod with an arms throw lever mount attachment on it. And we're taking a look at the gas block here, which is interesting too. Part of the SASS program was they wanted it to be able to shoot suppressed. And part of shooting suppressed is having a gas valve. So Armalite has an actual gas valve on here for suppressed and unsuppressed. What's that going to do? Well, that's going to, when firing on the suppressed mode, it's going to slow down the rate of fire, and it's not going to abuse and wear the parts as quickly because of the higher rate of fire. And it also allows more time for dwell, so it makes the cartridge case easier to extract. The barrel is a match grade stainless steel barrel that has a ceramic coating on it. It is also fire lapped at the factory for precision. There was no cost was spared when Mark Westrom designed this barrel. This is a full match grade barrel. This rifle here shoots consistent half-inch groups at 100 yards with Black Hills 175 grain OTM, all day long. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the inside. What I want to show you here is this is the only really non-stock parts that I put in here. This is the JP Enterprises low mass bolt carrier group, polished stainless steel. And it has a JP Enterprises enhanced bolt in it as well, which is a stronger material. It's a more durable bolt. What the low mass really does in this rifle is not too much. It just looks nice. I don't have the gas system tuned where it really benefits this quite a bit. The reason why I really kept it in here was I wanted to use the silent captured recoil spring. What happens with the silent captured recoil spring is instead of having a spring going all the way around where it actually scrapes in the inside of the receiver extension, it's right here. So when that moves back, you don't hear anything in the stock. So it's less distracting. So I actually put it in there because I just enjoyed the fact that it was less distracting than hearing the action spring. Does this affect the accuracy? No. This was just again, it's a better bolt, and the benefit of having a captured recoil spring for the noise. So those are the main reasons why I've got them in here. Now we're going to take a look a little bit at the lower receiver. Lower receiver, just the only thing that's really noteworthy is the actual trigger mechanism itself. This is actually a Geisley two-stage trigger. As this rifle came from Armalite, it came with the Armalite two-stage trigger. You really can't beat Geisley when it comes to match triggers. I mean, the Armalite one was nice, but the Geisley's just better. There's no really way to go around that. Much more crisp feel to it. The other thing I'd like to show you about the AR-10 here is the Armalite has a much stronger bolt catch to actually halt the much heavier bolt carrier group. A very good design. I want to go over the PRI gas buster charging handle and why this is such a benefit to any rifle that's using a suppressor. When you use a suppressor, you're overgassing the system. Basically, you're blowing a lot of pressure right back through the chamber into the receiver. What the gas buster does is it provides the channel, and then it provides a vent to blow the gas out of the actual upper receiver itself away from the shooter. Also, if you notice, how it hangs down over the sides of the receiver. That also seals off the back of the receiver to prevent the gas from actually coming back and hitting you. Is it a fail-safe? No. Still some gas will expel. However, it does make a major difference. This rifle did come with this charging handle. So obviously when they made it, the gas valve on it, knowing it was going for a suppressor, they thought ahead to add this to it as well. So overall, the rifle is basically stock. I just modified a couple things. Fit and function with this rifle is it's what you would expect from Armalite. It's beautiful. Accuracy is, as I said, it's definitely sub MOA. I normally get around a 1/2 inch with Black Hills match ammo. I have not had a chance yet to shoot this suppressed. I hope to in the very near future. Hopefully, even for this video, we very well may at the range have the suppressor for it. But overall, we have an incredibly high quality rifle, probably one of the best semi-auto 7.62s in the market. Shown here is the actual carrying case for the Armalite Super SASS. We have the actual upper receiver, and this is cut out to accept a sound suppressor as well. The Harris bipod. We have 5 magazines, the lower receiver, an Otis cleaning kit, sling, and I've actually thrown in here a Lula loader for loading the magazines. We're going to take the Armalite Super SASS out to the range and put a few rounds through it. The Armalite Super SASS has seen quite a few overseas contracts for a sniper rifle. It is a truly military-grade sniper rifle. And they all also come with the Otis cleaning system, which, again, you're going to provide the best rifle in the world. You provide the best cleaning kit in the world as well. Weapons maintenance is something that we're going to talk about a lot on my channel. And the reason being is if a weapon is properly maintained, the weapon will last longer, it will be more reliable, it will have a much longer life cycle. So I'm a firm believer in weapons maintenance and giving people the tools to do it. In the U.S. military and probably any military throughout the world, one of the biggest problems is you don't have cleaning gear. You're fighting over cleaning gear, within a unit. You don't have your individual stuff, so if you don't have it, you don't use it. By providing each weapon system with an actual cleaning kit, it makes much sense for the manufacturer, but in the fact that the gun will, if it's there, it will be used. If it's not there, it may not be. And the overall life cycle of the gun depends on maintenance. It depends on keeping carbon out. It depends on keeping the barrels cleaned so they last. Lubrication, not only so it won't rust, but so the friction of the parts doesn't wear out prematurely. This rifle has been sold to, I know Brazil was one of the countries that had bought them, and in fact when I had the Olympics there, the snipers were using them. Police departments have bought these, people use them for competition. You know, this rifle is still in service right now. They actually have a carbine version as well, Armalite does. So you can get it in the long barrel version with the fixed stock, or you can get it with the 16-inch barrel, the telescopic stock. You'll still see the rifles with the M14 magazine in circulation. However, all the new production rifles are all using the SR25 type magazine. This is not a cheap rifle. You're looking at a couple thousand very easily. But again, you have to look at what you're getting. You're getting a lot of hand-done stuff on here. You're getting a fire lap barrel. You're getting that special ceramic coating on it. You're getting select receivers for as far as being tight's concerned. A lot of work goes into here. Mark Westrom, the former president of Armalite, who he was the designer of this. The man was a competitive shooter. He shot at Camp Perry, so he knew a lot about making accurate rifles, and that's where the SASS came from. It didn't make it through. It didn't make it to the to be the M110. I don't think it was too far from it. At that time, also there's some other considerations too. Is that in order to have government contracts, there are certain things you have to have for as far as your facility and whatnot. Armalite really didn't have a lot of that stuff. They weren't that big. Or a company like Knights, whose primary purpose is government contract, they were able to have that. Trying to compare this to the SR25. Not sure about the current SR25s, but the ones that I have from 1995, and the ones that were like the Mark 11s. Armalite has a lot of benefits over it. Those earlier rifles, they were the upper receivers were actually extrusions. These were forgings. The gas system itself, the original SR25 used the standard AR-15 gas tube, which was too short. It didn't fully seat into the carrier key, where Mark Westrom decided he didn't care about that parts commonality. He actually made it so the gas tube fit like it was supposed to. The barrels themselves, I don't think there's that much of a difference in quality between the two. They're both 5R. But overall quality, they are definitely comparable. Armalite may have a couple edges over them in some areas. Currently, Armalite has not gone to the ambidextrous lower receiver, which Knights has had for quite some time. So they're sort of lagging in the area of going to mirrored controls. Perhaps Armalite may deal with that in the near future. But overall, if you're looking for a long-range precision 7.62 rifle, you will not go wrong with a Super SASS. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click like and please subscribe. Thank you.